Happy Monday, beautiful beings. It is Monday again, which means it is meditation medicine time. One of my favorite times of the week to share with you a mini teaching that will help you up-level your human potential so you can truly step into the purpose of who you're meant to be in this lifetime unapologetically. And so this week's mini teaching is on something that we all struggle with, on judgment. So a little fact for you, we have about 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day, and about 70% of those thoughts are negative in their content. So I'm not saying that to bring you down or be dismal, but I'm saying that to really shine a light on the truth that most of our thoughts, which are subconscious, are negative in their content. And a lot of that stems from our evolutionary psychology, the fact that our cavemen, brothers and sisters, used to need to scan the environment for threat, that lion coming over the Serengeti, in order to preserve their lives. So it's definitely a self-preservation dynamic that is really outdated, that we don't need anymore. So our nervous systems a lot of times are registering physical threat or life-threatening situation in a moment that's not actually life-threatening. For example, maybe you're having a disagreement or an argument with your partner, spouse, or maybe someone cut you off in traffic and your nervous system is going haywire and you're feeling the stress response. That is not a life-threatening moment, but it's as if we're perceiving these moments in our day-to-day lives as life-threatening. So one of the ways we can really help to bring ourselves back to balance is to work with our judgmental thoughts. And because we are humans and we're evolved enough to have conscious awareness, we can use that ability for conscious awareness to heal the addictive, negative thought patterns that we have on a day-to-day basis. So I want you to just pause real quick and think about, what is a judgment that you had either earlier today or yesterday? Maybe it was a couple days ago. So think about a judgment that you had. Maybe it was about yourself. Maybe it was judging yourself for not doing a good enough job at something. Maybe it was judging someone else. A lot of times our judgment is projected onto other beings in our life. So just think about that and bring it into the forefront of your mind. And so I want you to really be with that judgmental thought. And notice how you really assessed that person, that moment, that situation as good or bad. So little mini teaching here is that we perceive many moments, most moments even, in our day-to-day life as good or bad. And we're constantly clinging and craving to wanting this moment to be different, which causes suffering. So you have that judgmental thought in the forefront of your mind. What is a way that you could transform that thought or that belief into the energy of acceptance, or into something that is beneficial for you? So if the judgment is about someone else, for example, maybe that reframe is, I am grateful that this person triggered me so I could learn the energies that I still carry. Because when we're triggered and we're judgmental, it's really not about the other person, it is about us. And judgment allows us to hide in our own thought process. It allows us to hide behind the wounds. So judgment becomes this scapegoat that we use to hide from the wounds that we carry. So I want you to take that in. Judgment acts like a scapegoat for us to hide from the wounds that we carry. And when we're hiding behind judgment, that means we're really disempowering ourselves. And we're not giving ourselves the opportunity to heal at the greatest potential in the moment. So I'm here to just encourage you. we don't need to have shame over being judgmental or having judgmental thoughts. That's just a human experience. But what we can do, we can empower ourselves to see the judgment. Oh, I can't believe she did that. Or who is she to be fill in the blank? I used to have those thoughts too, especially as an entrepreneur. Comparison mindset can be very incessant. And at the beginning of my business building, I would find myself having these judgmental thoughts about other entrepreneurs, especially ones maybe in similar fields or similar lines of work as I was, as a therapist, a mindfulness teacher, a spiritual teacher, healer. And I realized that those were insecurities that I had about myself. And I was projecting those wounds. I was projecting those insecurities onto other people. And of course, most all of this was in my own mind. So you can imagine the craziness happening up there. But that's a human example of what we all experience when we're scrolling on Instagram, when we're engaging online, especially now since we're hyper connected. Just remember, your judgment is a scapegoat for you to hide from the true wounds that you carry. So don't allow it to be. Turn inward and say, what is this judgment about? What wounds are being triggered? Instead of projecting externally, how can I reframe this judgment so I can truly see what I need to lean into? And there will be more on this topic. I'm really, really passionate and feeling called to teach more about judgment, how judgment really is toxic for our systems. It can turn into inflammation and even disease in the body. So we want to work with judgment from a thought-based perspective, but also an energetic perspective. And this is a great start. So identifying the judgment that you're having, bringing it into the forefront. How can you reframe it into something helpful? How can you reframe it into the energy of acceptance? How can you begin to use the judgment to see what you still need to heal within you, what's being triggered within? And stay tuned for more on this topic. Thank you for tuning in for this week's meditation medicine teaching as you continue your sacred journey on the path of this miraculous human journey. I look forward to seeing you soon. Sat Nam, Namaste, Aho.